Hey kids, welcome to Children's Church. I'm so excited to get to share today's story with you. It's the third Sunday in a series where we're learning about people who are facing hard times and they're wondering, now what? Last week, Pastor Emily taught us about Joseph and God's plan for him and his family in Egypt. This story also takes place in Egypt, but many years later after Joseph's death. It's the story of women who had the courage and creativity to stand up to unfair laws. I have a few friends who are going to help me tell this story about these brave women from Exodus chapter 1 and 2 who played a huge part in the life of Moses.
Now a new king came to power in Egypt, who had no knowledge of Joseph.
Look, the people of Israel now outnumber us and are stronger than we are. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemies and fight against us.
So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, down with crushing labor. They forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramesses as supply centers for the king.
But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread and the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their lives bitter with harsh labor in brick and mortar and with all kinds of work in the fields. In all their harsh labor, the Egyptians worked them ruthlessly.
The king of Egypt gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah. When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live. But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives. Why have you done this? He demanded, why have you allowed the boys to live?
The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. The midwives replied, they are more vigorous and have their babies so quickly that we can't get them in time.
So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, He gave them families of their own.
About this time, a married woman from the tribe of Levi got married. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special baby and kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she got a basket made of papyrus reeds and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance, watching to see what would happen to him.
Soon, Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and her attendants walked along the river bank. When the princess saw the basket among the reeds, the princess opened it. She saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him.
Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you? Yes, do. Take this baby and nurse him for me. I will pay you for your help.
So the woman took her baby home and nursed him.
Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son.
Thanks, kids, for helping me tell the story of these brave women. I hope and pray that we have the courage and creativity to solve problems and injustices the way they did. If you didn't get a chance to help me this time, let me know and I'll make sure that you get in the next video. Don't forget to send your questions to Pastor Matt this week. I love and miss you all, and I hope you have a great week.